Hello, everybody. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and I'm in my new studio. And I think I've got most everything moved from the front room. I'm kind of leaving yarn and slow stitching in there because that's where the Greg's TV is now. And plus, that my desktop is in there, so I can sit in my recliner and do the hand work. But as you know, when you move or you relocate, even if it's just one room to another, you come across things. And I came across this notebook of artist trading cards that we swapped in 2019, where I was doing a weekly Dirty Dozen. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Brittany. And then we would cut our Dirty Dozens up and we would make artist trading cards. And whoever wanted to send me one, I would send them one of mine. And so I've got the artist trading cards in here by person. So, like, these were all mine here that I did. Oh, the glare's worse when I lift it up. Then we visit Sharon Lombard. So Sharon made these for me. It's better if I leave it laying down. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sherry. I just was going to just do a quick flip on this while people come in. And this set, and these were like each week we would do a swap and then I would just fill in a panel. These were done by Kendra, which I hadn't seen Kendra in a little while. Hope she's doing okay. Kendra Collins. So she did these for me. I love this fairy. And then I liked how she put a little dangle on that. I thought that was pretty cool. And then this set is by Lucia. And I hadn't seen Lucia in a while. Hi, Barbara. Love your ATCs. I'm making a new page for hidden paperclips today. You're going to start another mushroom. I'll share my mushroom after I get done flipping in this. So I think in the new year, I'm going to start back doing the Dirty Dozens and artist trading swaps so that we can do some more swaps for ATCs, because I'd like to do another book like this where I do a page for each person. So keep that in mind. These were done by Deborah Adams. And she doesn't live very far from me, and I hadn't seen her in any lives or anything lately, so I hope she's okay. These were done by Cheryl Johnson, our crafty sister. Cheryl, these are cute. I love this little bird. It's a wooden button, and that's a little wooden heart with a bird on it. She likes birds. Hi, Ann. And then this set was done by Mary Del Abram. The Mary Altair did that page. And then this one, I love this. It's got my name on it. This one was done by Christy Wainscott, which is now, her last name's something else now. And for some reason, I can't think of it. What is Christy's last name now? She got married. I don't know. I can't remember it. Christy. I can visualize it, but I can't think of what it is. That's crazy. Anyway, y'all know Christy. And then here we go, another set. And this set was done by Teresa McKenzie. Teresa's Crafting Chaos. I have not seen her in a while either. I'm going to have to look up and see if she's still on YouTube. All right. And then this set was done by Brittany. Brittany's ATCs, very colorful. Brittany was doing a lot with sling and paint with a drill, I think. I don't know if she did that for these, but I remember about at this time you were doing those paintings where you'd spin them out. Now this set was done by Barb Fillion. Barb's another one that likes owls. And I know she's back working, I think. And let's see, this is done by, oh, Judy Umfleet. And that's another one I haven't heard from in a while. So I just thought that was a fun memory lane to go down and to maybe do again in the new year. So I'll put this someplace to try to remind myself that that's something I want to do in the new year with you guys. And I've finished my mushroom. This is what Kathy said she's going to make another. Now, I went around here and then I did little stitches up all in white. And when Kathy did hers, she used the color of the mushroom to make her gills, which I thought looked cool too. And I put a lot of spots on mine. I don't know why I did that. And when I did, like, instead of just going down through and coming out the bottom and pulling up, I actually sewed a spot like on the mushroom in the top and went down here and I pulled it really tight to get this indentation in the bottom of the mushroom. And then I did this string where you push I had to find a really long tapestry needle to go all the way down through the bottom and then make it squared off and go back up. And that's how I got the little indentation. And then I took him and I went like this to get him to like puff out a little bit better, move the stuffing around. So he'll go on my Christmas tree. He'll probably go off my Christmas tree too because of the felines. So there's that. And then the other thing I came across were these ponies or horses that I did because of Kate at the last homely house. I don't know if you guys remember the little ponies. I don't know if she still has the pattern available in her Etsy shop, but when I did it, I don't remember if I bought the pattern or she was doing it as a freebie, but the legs are separate and you use a brad. And I did these in 2020. This horse's name is Autumn. So that's Autumn. And I have posted a link down below to Kate's story of the suitcase where the ponies came out of. She stores a lot of stuff in old suitcases. Kate does at the last homely house. And these ponies, she had them in different sizes. And you'll have to go watch it. It's a really cute video. But this horse's name is Phoebe. So I've made a small herd of 4. And I was thinking, why couldn't I just, this pony is named Mystic. And these are all just made with painty papers. So his hooves are gold. But I was thinking I might put a gold ribbon on the ones that look like they're trotting like this. I'll put it at their back. But then this one, he looks like he's rearing. So I'll put it up here by his top of his head. And then I can put them on my Christmas tree and enjoy them each year. And here's a pony. And this was made from drop paper. I can tell because it's all crazy. Oh, and this pony doesn't have a name. It's a nameless pony. So that was my idea. I'm going to put hangers on them and then put them on the Christmas tree. So they'll go with the mushroom, and I'll do that later. And I also came across 2 other things I wanted to show. This is the traveling journal that we did in, what year was this? 2018. And what we did is I had teams. And in my team, it's Lisa Conway, Sharon Lombard, me, Kendra Collins, Dawn Andress, Judy Umfleet, Barb Fillion, and Mary. So my little book made it back to me. Some of the books did not get back because we had one bad apple, and that kind of ruins it for everybody. And what was really bad about it is I was mailing things on to her, and it was costing me a fortune because she lived in another country, and she was just keeping the journals. She just kept everybody's journal. So I felt so bad for the ones that lost their journals that I made them new journals. So that they had made, but I tried to make it right. Now on, if we do a round robin like this, what we could do is just come up with a size, and then everybody do a page that can be glued into the journal. But I thought I'd do a flip of this and just go through it real quick. So that was my starting page that I did. This page was done by Kendra, and I've got wax paper in here to protect the pages. I thought those were cute. And then after Kendra, it went to Barb Fillion, and Barb did a beautiful job too. This is just folded over the top of the page. And then this was Sharon Lombard did this beautiful page. These are just fun to look at. And then this page here, I think, is one by Mary. I don't see a signature in it, but it looks like her style. I don't see a signature. I don't see a signature, but that looks like Mary's style. And then this was Lisa's, and she sent me this pretty postcard with it. And it's stuck in here, so I'll know that this is Lisa's page. Oh, right there, she signed it on the bottom. So it's a pretty page, and that girl is pretty. So I'll put that in there like this. This was done by, there's some initials right there. I'd have to figure out who that was. Dawn. But that was Dawn Andreas. And I haven't heard from her since she moved. I think, was it Tennessee or North Carolina? And I know she stopped YouTube when the whole child video thing was going on and messing with people's heads. This was done by, no signature. I wonder if this was Judy Umfleet. That would be the correct one in order. And then this is left blank. I was supposed to go back and do something there, but I didn't. And I'm okay with that. It's still a beautiful book. So that was that. And then the other little book I found, I think this is one that we did with you enjoyed doing. I really love it. And if we could make sure that everybody that's participating would follow through, that would be one thing. But when there's a bad apple that ruins it for just one swap, it gives me a bad feeling about trying to do it again. This, I think, was the crunchy journal that we did with Tanya and Lisa. And I covered mine with this kind of faux leather stuff that you used to get it at Joann's on that flat fold table at the back. Oh, I think something's supposed to be in here, but it's not. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is one we did with them because I remember doing these image transfers with packing tape. And then Tanya had us weave the page, which I really like the way that looks. The woven pages like that. Wouldn't mind doing that again. Looking back through your journals reminds you of techniques that you used. She did the paper strip flowers where you just stack strips up. I love this page with the bumblebee. Yeah, these were all packing tape transfers where you just put packing tape over the top of an image like in a catalog, and then you soak the paper off the back so that all that's left is the image. And then I mounted paper to bring the image back true. This was my, no, I think we did this book with Jerry Bellini now. I'm thinking about it. I think this was with Jerry because that's where I learned to do the paint, where you transfer with paint. I don't know if you can see, but that's a boat in a harbor. And I just loved how that turned out. And then this one we were printing on fabric with our rubber stamp letters. And this took forever to stamp that all out, one letter at a time. And I used paint. So yeah, I think this one, what does it say? Does it say? It just says my name and my channel. And we completed it March 18th, 2019. But I just love this little journal. And then this is just a little band. It's that elastic-y ribbon. And I just love it. So it's important to look back at, past things you've done because, you never know if you come across an idea you forgot about. So let me scroll back just a little bit. Thanks for the thumbs up. And Janet shared the link to Kate's video. At that time period, if you kind of just look in that same time period, she was opening a different suitcase each week. And that particular week, she opened it and found the horses. Now, another week, she found just quilt blocks her mother had done, old linens that were her mother's and her grandmother's. It's a lot of fun to watch her open a suitcase and just see what's in there. And Nettie's here, Ann's here, Barbara Clark, and Janet Baum, and Kathy. Barbara Clark. Oh, somebody had a question? My artist trading cards, I usually do a dirty dozen, which is a 12 prompts where we get our hands all filthy on a large piece. Like, I don't know the size of that paper, but the like 24 by whatever. And then we just cut it all up into 2.5 by 3.5. And I usually use watercolor or mixed media paper and then cut them up into the 2.5 by 3.5. And then I just use that as my artist trading card. And I just add a focal image and saying, and maybe a border, maybe some splatters, just to make each artist trading card unique. I don't use playing cards. I've seen other people do that. I make my big backgrounds and then cut them up. And that way they're all kind of similar for that week, for whoever wants to swap with me. And I don't make, that's my thing. I don't make just one. When I make artist trading cards, I don't like just pull out one piece. I make entire background that I can cut up and make multiples because they're always good to send in happy mail. Just a little something to brighten somebody's day. They can pin it on their refrigerator if they want, add a magnet to the back if they want. You can do all sorts of stuff. So the only other thing I was going to do is let's get started on the cat for anybody that crochets or wants in. Arlene had sent me this beautiful baby blanket yarn, and I thought I would use it for the cat here. And the link for the kitty cat is in the box below. And I'm just going to get it started. We're not going to do the entire cat in one sitting. There are, let's see. The cat is 22 rounds And we're not joining rounds. That's why it's important to have something to mark your first stitch on every round, because they're not going to we're not having a start. You're not going to slip stitch in the first stitch and then go on. You're just going to keep working. So every time you make that first stitch, take a moment to move your stitch marker as we go around. And it's a free pattern at Yarnspirations. It's for this chunky little cat. It calls for you to use one ball, and I'm hoping this was a full ball of this stuff, Bernay blanket. And then they told me that it uses a size L, and you know what? I don't have any L. So instead of going bigger, I went smaller. So I have a K. I'm using a K hook. What that means is my cat will turn out slightly smaller than the one in the picture. Finished size on the cat is about 9 inches tall is all. So this is another pretty quick project. If we had 2 hours, I could sit and do this, but I'd like to break this one up. And if you print it off and you want to give it a go yourself, you feel free to finish it out if you want to, but I will work on this again probably tomorrow. No, tomorrow is Craft and Chat. I won't be on tomorrow. Maybe Friday at some point in the morning. If Mary doesn't come on in the early morning, I could go early morning for a while. Or I can come on after Mary signs off. That way you get to do both projects. I'll get with her and see if she's planning to be on. All right, let's see. Okay, do not join in rounds. Work in a spiral. Move your marker for beginning, or the BEG. Every time you see BEG, that means beginning of round as work progresses. When body is complete, we're going to turn our work inside out. Right side work is facing you. WS of work is facing you. Wrong side of work is facing you. Is that right? I guess. Wrong side, yeah. So if the wrong side of the work is going to be facing us, that's why we have to turn it right side out. All right. So they want you to do the whole chain 2 and then do 6 single crochets into the second single crochet. I prefer a magic ring. So I'm going to show you how I do the magic ring. I just like magic ring because I feel like it works better. Look at my Gnome shirt. I made it. It's got a pocket for my phone and that kind of thing. So I'm going to show you how I do the magic ring. So you hold your thread between your thumb and your ring finger. Put this over the top. So you're coming this way. You run it over the top, go around your fingers, and make an X on the top of your fingers like this. You're going to go under the first stitch. You're going to grab this one and twist it. And I'm going to chain 1 just to get me started. And that's effectively, this would be 1 chain, that would be your second chain. But now I'm going to work the 6 into here, and it said 6 single crochets. So 1 and 2. All right, before you go on, go ahead and put your marker in that first stitch. 2, and I'm going back in the circle again here. 2 and 3. Work kind of relaxed. You don't want to pull this stuff too tight. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6. And then you grab your tail on your magic ring and you just pull it. And to me, that gets it tighter. And I'm not going to worry about that tail. Now remember, we're not working, we're not going to join. We're going to work in a spiral. So we want to make sure we're moving this. All right, so that's where my first stitch is. 2 single crochets in each one now. So I go and I do 1 and then 2. And then stop and put your marker in the first one. So that's 1 and that's the first one. That's the second one, that's the first one. So now do 2 in each one around. 1. When you work in a spiral, you really need to put something in there to mark that first stitch. Because if you don't, you will lose it. You won't know where the beginning is. And that's maddening. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more makes 5 and 6. And the next one you do 2. So that's 7 and 8. And then 9 and 10. And then 11 and 12. All right. So round 3 is 1 single crochet in the first single crochet and move your marker, and then do 2 single crochets in the next single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next single crochet, and 2. So you do 1, 2, 1, 2 around. So you do 1 here, 2 here, 1 here, 2 here, all the way around. So they said, go ahead and do your stitch in here and then move your marker to that stitch you just made up here. I'll have to tell Scott that's something he can get me as a stocking stuffer, is some cute stitch markers. So now the next stitch, you're going to put 2 in it. 1, 2, and then 1 in the next one, and 2 in the next one. 1, 2, and 1. Hi, stitch it, Pam. I saw you peek in. 1 and 2. And there's 1 there. And then 1, 2 here. Uh-oh, it's caught on the paper. One more in there. 2, and then do 1 here, and then 2 in this one. This yarn is a little hard to see. Did I tell you what this is? This is the Brene Blanky yarn. And then 2 here. And it's actually, let me tell you what size it is. Brene Blanket. It doesn't, oh yes it is. It's a super bulky. So if you have some other super bulky size 6, you could use that. Okay. So we're around now. So that was round 3, right? 1, 2, 3. I've got a pen here. I'm just going to put a little dot next to each one we've done. So I'll put a little dot. 1, 2, 3. Then it says Continue working in spiral rounds, moving your marker to indicated first single crochet as follows. And then you have to flip it over for fourth round. In the fourth round, we're going to one single crochet in each of the next two single crochets, and then two single crochets in the next one. So we'll do a single in the first one, a single in the second one, and then you put two in the next one, and then you go single, single, two in the next one, just all the way around. So let's go ahead and put our single crochet in here. Take a minute and move the marker up to that stitch. It's real easy. If you don't move the marker up, it's real easy to get lost. So that was a single. The next stitch gets a single. I've got to unroll this some. Joyce is right. You could, if you have some 4-ply, you could just use 2 strands held together. That might make a really cool looking cat too. So the next one, we have to put 2 stitches in it. 1 and 2, and then the next 2 get just 1 stitch put in them. So 1, 1, and then 2, 1 and 2, and then 1, and then 1, and then 2 here. 1, 2, there's 1 and 2. Now I've got myself confused. This one gets 2, right? 2. So there's 2 there. A single, 2. And then another single, and then 2 in this one. So 1 and 2, and then another single, and then the last stitch will get 2. If you try to work it too tight, it won't move. This stuff is like, it grabs itself. It's hard to explain. So basically, each time we're going around, we're adding 1 more to the singles and then doing a double so that you get an equal equal distance between your additional stitches. That's why they keep telling us to, like on the 4th round, we did 1, 2, and then 2 together. For the 5th row, you got to think about it as it's still going to be a total of 5 stitches in each segment. So you've got a single, then 2 together. That's how you think about it when you're working in the round and they're having you do these increases. This single stitch, this one, and this one are just copying the stitch below on the row below. Then when you put 2 in together, that's your increase stitch. Okay, so now, like I said, we're on row 5. So we're going to do 3 by themselves. So this will be the first one. And this one we're going to put our marker in. And then we're going to do 2 more by themselves. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then you'll do your increase stitch. So that's the 2 stitches in the next stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. I try to make it something that you can visualize in your mind. So now we're going to do that segment of 5 again. So 3 by themselves. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 here. 1, 2, and then back to 1, 2, 3, and then 2 together. 1, 2, 3, and 2 together. 1, 2, and 3, 1 by itself, 2 by itself, 3 by itself, and then 4 and 5 are together. Boy, this stuff is, maybe that's why Arlene gave it to me. It's hard to describe it. I don't know if anybody else has used this yarn or not. We got to do one more in here. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then 2 together will give us 4 and 5. And then 1, 2, 3. So 1 by itself, 2 by itself, 3 by itself, and the last 2 have to hold hands together in the same stitch. So that's 4 and 5. So that is row 5 done. Easy peasy. So I'm going to put a little dot by 5. So for 6, you're going to do 4 plus 2. So 4 singles by themselves, and then the 2 together, so you'll have 6. Does that make sense? So we're going to do 4 by themselves here. I'm going to go ahead and take this out of my way, put the first stitch in there, and mark it. If my fingers would work. All right, so that's the 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 2. So put 2 in here. 1 and 2. Then we need 4 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 2 makes 6. So do 2 here. 1, 2. So now we go back and do 4. So 1, 2. I'm going to unwind some more. Once you get started back at it, Heather, you'll do all right. Let's see. That's the 2 together. So I'm working on the 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2. And again, this is a pattern that's free on Yarnspirations. And if you like this little kitty cat, I noticed they have another one on there. Two, 3, 4, and then 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 in the next one, because 4 plus 2 is 6, and we're on the 6th round. So now we should do 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 together in the last one, and we're back at the beginning. All right. So I'm going to put a little dot there. Little dot on 6. Let's go ahead and we'll keep going until row 12. And then we'll stop there. And then we'll pick up with that again on Friday morning. I'm going to do later on Friday. So I'll actually come on at about 11:30 on Friday. I'm going to write on here 11:30 Friday. We'll pick up on our cat. 11:30 Friday. I don't think I have anything else planned for this week. All right, so let's keep going. So row 7, we're going to do 5 that are single by themselves and 2 together. So you'll do 5 single crochets, and then in the next stitch, you'll do 2 single crochets for a total of 7 for row 7. And most patterns that have you do increase, do it this way. So this is the first stitch. And we'll put the marker back in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 together. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 together. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, the afternoon planes have started taking off from the Columbia Airport, and I'm only 10 minutes from there. So I'm sorry if that noise disrupts anything for you. I might have to take some time to unstrangle this. That sounds awful, but I'm not sure how this is together. Because now I have 2 ends going here or something. I don't know what's going on. That one. That's the extra end. All right. So that was 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I need to do 2 here. 1, 2. I should have reballed it so it would be easy to use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2. 1, 2, and then you should have one more repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the last 2. So 1, 2. All righty. So there we go. And that's basically the bottom of my little cat right here. And now for rows 8 through 12. So we've got, I'm going to get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5 rows are going to be nothing but doing single crochet around. So I'm going to get 4 more of my markers. And I'll just put a fresh marker in the first stitch of each round so we can see so we don't lose count. They take off at midnight at the FedEx. We have a hub for FedEx and for UPS right by the Columbia Airport. And yeah, when they all get going, but I think these are the afternoon commuters that are heading back to Charlotte and Atlanta, that they don't want to do the drive, so they catch a flight. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out and put my first stitch in there. And I'm going to put a stitch marker in there to note that this is row 8. And then I'll know by the time I've used all of these, that'd be 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I'll know I've got all the way around because I'll have all my little clips done. And all you're doing is a single crochet around and around and around. This will start turning up as you go. And I figure I can do this and see what you guys are talking about. Yeah, I've been trying to find free crochet patterns that would work up quickly for gifts. This would be something I could set aside as a baby gift. And I have a quilt top. The next time I go live and we work on this, I might do a share of my projects in the box. I have a crate behind me that's just projects I want to finish before I start any more new ones. And I've got a couple quilt tops in there and quilt projects that I'd like to finish. One was a quilt along with Pat Sloan from, I don't know if it was last year or the year before that. Oh, and by the way, I can see really good because I got my new spiffy glasses, but they're very different than my original glasses, or even my second pair of glasses that I broke. They're very, very different. I'll show them when we get done crocheting this around. Hey, Riri, what you up to? Oh, this has got like 2 ends on the outside. I can't figure it out. But I'll show you my goofy new glasses. They're taking some getting used to, and they're a little heavier than the wire frames I had before. But Scott said, try something new, get something different. So I did. It's just going to take some getting used to, but I do kind of like having a larger lens surface instead of having it so centralized. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but and look at there. That's round 8 done. All right, so I'm going to leave my stitch markers in from now on. And we'll just keep going to this round. So that was 8. This is 9. I came across something when I was cleaning up for a white elephant Christmas where you either buy something for $10 or less, or you just wrap up something you have around the house. And then as people come in, they draw a number and they pick a gift. And then, somebody else can take that gift from you and you can pick another one as you go along. So I've done that, but it was called something else. But I thought that could be a fun way to still do Christmas with some of the extended family. Handmade things count too. Do I have any quilters watching? I have a duplicate copy of a watercolor quilt, quick watercolor quilts. And I didn't know if any of you would be interested in it. Just let me know if it's something you think you might be interested in. If nobody has any interest in it, I'll just redonate it to Goodwill, but I'd love to gift it to a friend. Barbara, would you like a book on watercolor quilts? Even if you just wanted to cut it up and use it for, journaling, you could do that too. I've done some projects with the watercolor quilt type projects before where you get like a really ugly floral print that's really, really gaudy. And then you try to find another, no, I'm making a cat, Gail. Another print that the background is very, very close. And you don't need a watercolor book. Okay. So, but they're a lot of fun to piece it. And you can take simple cross stitch kits and do this method with them and come up with a picture, but made with fabrics, squares. And I told Scott, I said, I must really like that book because I found it at the Goodwill and I already have it. So we are doing a kitty cat that is a free pattern on Yarnspirations. And they had a couple other, if you're a knitter, they have knitting patterns over there. They have crochet patterns, all for free. And they're running a yarn sale right now too. Of course, everybody's running a sale. So that's the last stitch. And I'm back to my marker. So that's row 9 done. Hopefully I have enough yarn here. If not, my cat might end up with different colored paws and a tail. So that'll be my first stitch for the next row. I'm going to go ahead and put a stitch marker in there. The only reason I'm doing this way is to keep track of the rows without having to write individual numbers down. I'm just going ahead. This yarn is a pickle to work with. That's another reason I think this is going to be it for today. And we'll finish this guy on Friday because my hands are going to need a rest from this yarn. It's grabby. I don't know if that makes sense, but I call it grabby because it's like it drags against itself and it's quite tiring to do. But I was saying earlier, I might wrap this kitty cat up because it's blue and green and my niece is expecting another little boy. And I might take one of those quilt tops and because it's about baby size and make up a set of a crocheted kitty cat and the baby blanket. I don't know. We'll see. And we'll pick up at round 13 on Friday at 11:30. And we'll finish him up because we'll have rows 13 through 22 for the cat body. And then we have to make 2 paws and a tail. And they're just little short rows. This is the weirdest ball of yarn. Arlene, is that why you sent it to me? Oh gosh. It is hard to work with. Yeah, I'll try to come right on at 11:30 on Friday. That's when Greg has to leave for work these days. I think his cats like it that he goes in a little earlier and gets home earlier. They love their boy. Cole and Piper do. They haven't wanted to come in from the bonus room since I shifted rooms. So I bet we'll start reducing here. This should start looking like a bowl. It's starting to turn up. Turn up. Ha ha ha. All right. We're back at the beginning. So I'll go ahead and put a stitch in there. And I'll put one of my stitch markers in it. Whoops. If I can get it to clip. I think they're all sleeping right now. Callie was in the window right here beside me. I made a cat perch, and they like it. And it might be too hot in the sunshine right now, though. They might be back in the front room watching the bird feeder, as you said. Yeah, I end up giving my stuff away because not very many people want to pay you for your time. That's the thing about when you're buying from the maker, you got to take into account it's hours of work. And even at like, if you give yourself minimum wage, what is that, 7 something an hour? That doesn't pay much. And then you got your cost of materials. And I saw a post today that about something about it was a meme type post, the ones. And she said, yes, spend $400 on materials and hours of your time, and then you make $30 in a weekend. Yeah, that's the part that stinks. Might have to get my new glasses tightened up. They feel like they keep running down my nose. She said I could come back. But that's a drive across town, and I'm just not willing to do it today. So I'll give it a couple more days. Oh, this yarn is a pill. This Bernay blanket. That's exactly what this is. It didn't have a label on it when I got it. But I know from stocking yarn that that's exactly what this stuff is. It is weird, though. So one more round and we'll have the first dozen rows done. I got to stop and fight with the yarn again. Yay, you got it back. That's awesome. I'm going to reball this yarn before Friday, because this, having two ends working out the same way, is driving me a little insane. Only a little. Yep. And you learn real quick who to give handmade gifts to and who not to. Because those that appreciate it, a handmade gift, say thank you, and they actually use the items, and they don't end up as dog beds, or unless of course it was made to be a dog bed. That's not a problem. But yeah, this is our last round. Can you believe it? No, it's not. We got one more. I got to go around one more time because I got one more peg. That's just the beginning of it. Yeah, so that was 8, 9, 10, 11. We got to go around one more time. And then we'll set it on the table and see what it looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and put up there, put my loop in, my marker in, and go on around. I've found I like making quilt tops, but I need to get better about actually turning them into quilts because I'm not always going to be lucky and find a double wedding ring quilt for $8 at Goodwill, which I soaked that out in I rinsed my garden cart out and then I added cold water and some B-I-Z, that you buy in the laundry section. It's like OxyClean. And I just let that soak out in the sun in the biz water for a couple hours. And then I did my best to squeeze as much water out as I could. And I brought it in and I put it in my washing machine on bedding and washed it with just some Tide and a little fabric softener. Threw it in the dryer and it looks like new. It's a lovely quilt. I guess nobody wanted it because they thought it was stained beyond saving. But it wasn't. It was fine. All right, I'm going to leave my markers in there. And oh, whoa, Becky, what are you doing? Started doing double crochets for some reason. That's crazy. Crazy. Yeah, I think we can finish this little guy on Friday because I think we're going to start reducing again because he looks like just a little round lump and you add ears and paws and a tail to it. And they're just little tiny paws. I hope I have enough yarn. I have some more of the baby blanket in the back, but it's nowhere near any of these pastel colors. None. I'll have to see what I can find. If Scott and I go thrifting, I'll keep my eyes open for some more of this. Because, sometimes the colors get, discontinued. So 2 more stitches, and that'll be the end of that round. Because the markers are at the beginning of each round. So there we go. I've got the first 12, and they said we are going to turn this after when the body is complete. We'll flip it because right now this is the wrong side, and when we're done, it'll get flipped, and this will be the outside of the cat. But while you're working it from the wrong side because we're working this way around. So he's coming along. I think it's going to be cute. All right. There's a lady on, is it Instagram? And she dresses like in 1940s in her house, or 1940s or 50s. And her house has all got that vintage feel to it. Here, let me put you guys up now. I might be a little too close. See my new glasses? So I'm going to have to get used to these because I'm used to just that thin wire at the bottom and no dark down here. But I'm finding it's not bothering me nearly as much as I worried about it bothering me. And yeah. But she has her quilts hanging up too on over the windows, but she has like 2 layers of curtains between the window and um the quilt. Yeah. So that's all I had for today. And Shannon will be coming on, I believe. They're just very different, and they're like a turquoise blue on the top. They're not really showing the correct color. And then purple and pink and clear on the bottom. But boy, she put them on me, and it was like, oh, I can see so much better. Because my eyes had gotten pretty bad up to last year, but last year it was a long story. But anyway, I finally got some new glasses. It's like at a plus 2.25 now that I need. So Heather's are similar, but all pale pink. And oh, at 2 p.m. Central. See, it's hard for me because I want to do Susan Taylor Brown and Shannon. I might have to I'll just watch Susan later. I enjoy Susan's chats. It's just so friendly over there. So if you guys like slow stitching, Susan Taylor Brown is the place to go. And her community is awesome. The chat is always so friendly and nice. So yeah. Do they make my eyes pop? I've just never had the kind like this. I've had the little nose things, not so that it's not all one piece. They were separate. I kind of like these. So thanks for the thumbs up. And I will see you guys at 11:30 on Friday, and we'll do at least the rest of the cat's body. We'll see how long that takes, and if my hands are tired, because this yarn is almost exhausting. It's just hard to work with the thicker yarn for me. And then we might do the paws, the tail. You know what? It doesn't say anything on here about ears, so I guess the ears are part of the body. So we'll see about finishing the body and getting him turned the other way out and getting him stuffed. Oh, I think we don't stuff him until after the paws are added because we have to sew them on. I don't know. I'll look at this. I'll read it and then I'll know what I'm talking about. Oh, and we're going to need some black. What are they using? They say that you're going to need a small amount of black worsted weight yarn for the embroidery, which is his eyes and his whiskers and his little nose. So I'll look for some worsted weight black. I'm sure I've got some in those little balls that I got. I've got a bunch of white, brown, and black balls together in the back that I was going to do small little fat amigurumi cats. What would be funny is if I have this colorful blue and green and white one and then do some that are just like white, like kittens. I might have to do that just to do it. All right, guys. Go get you a tomato onion sandwich, and I will see you guys on Friday at 11:30. I'll be in chats and this and that. Thank you, Janet. See you later.